Hello there, Sil with the multi-info report. Lots to talk about today. Let's just get the French out of the way because there is actually something going on in the South Indian Basin. So we say, en ce moment, il y a une faible chance d'une cyclone tropicale ici. Ouais, c'est vrai. So moving on from that, if I even said any of that correctly. So we've got an already devastated Philippines who might be seeing another storm in just a few moments, not moments, but days as such. And then we've got Haiyan, who may well have officially made landfall. As you can tell, obviously lots of the cloud cover already covering land. This thing is still, I mean, if this kind of looks like it's still part of the storm itself. I'm not sure if it officially is, but this thing is just massive. In Vietnam, they have a severe tropical storm warning in effect. They also have a satellite loop on this showing this thing is just, it's an incredibly large storm still. And it's just a severe tropical storm now instead of a super typhoon. In China, they have a red warning of typhoon in effect at the moment. And the scale goes blue, yellow, orange, red. So that is at the highest that they give out color-wise. So that is where Haiyan is at the moment. And then, of course, the Philippines was absolutely devastated by the storm. And then we've got this new thing. The JTWC still calling this a high chance of tropical cyclone formation. I shouldn't say still. They're still calling it a chance of tropical cyclone formation. Yesterday, I believe, was a medium. And then the JMA is still tracking this as an unnamed tropical depression that they're expecting to turn into a tropical storm soonish. Now, according to these spaghetti models, which all seem to be different members of one ensemble run, so they're all predicting it to go through this part of the Philippines. And, obviously any, interaction with the Philippines right now would be a bad thing if it's even if it's just bad rain, when you're trying to recovery efforts and such. So just a really tragic situation in the Philippines right now. Over here in the Bay of Bengal, we've got this medium chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next 24 hours. And this is actually the remnants of 30W, which I believe started out here, made its way here, there, and now might generate into something. And then we've got this. I believe it's still just a tropical, what are they calling it? Tropical Cyclone 3 out here. And I do not, unfortunately, do not have any data for Somalia on if they are putting out official warnings or anything of the sort. But obviously something running into there, is going to cause it, at the very least, lots of rain, possibly a little bit of damaging winds, because it is a weaker tropical storm, at least according to this, is about 35 knots. That's, I think, as low as it can get and actually still be called a tropical storm, which is, of course, not correct in here because they're calling it a tropical cyclone. All of the different basins have different things going on. And then over here, we've got this. What I learned last season, let's see if I clicked on the correct one. Very low chance of tropical cyclone formation per the Bureau of Meteorology. So what I learned last year is that doesn't necessarily actually mean that this area of probability is actually a very low chance. The Bureau of Meteorology, based out in Australia, bases it on the percentage, or not percentage chance, but the chance that it will actually enter their region, which would be the Western region is the one who handed that out. So there's a very low chance, basically, is what it's saying, that this area of probability, which is apparently this mass of clouds and whatnot, there's a very low chance that would actually be traveling and affecting them. This thing, I believe, is expected to be going somewhere off in this direction, but of course just a low chance because the JTWC now is actually putting out outlook areas on this. So low chance of tropical cyclone formation. So this thing, I don't know, I saw a lot of stuff last year where it ended up curving off this way, but that is obviously quite far out in the future and lots of just speculation for something that at the moment is just a low chance of tropical cyclone formation. So that is what is going on over here in the Eastern Pacific and the Atlantic. The season is still going, but there hasn't been anything to talk about in the last few days. So that's good on that sort. Unless you want something to happen, I don't know. So over in the US today, severe thunderstorm-wise, no thunderstorm areas even forecast. Not even a thunderstorm area in general as opposed to a severe thunderstorm area. So nothing going on. Green across the board, still green for the next few days, but we keep an eye on it because Dixie Alley, the threat is never out of the question with Dixie Alley. SevereWeatherTV.com is the official homepage of this screencast. WickedWix is WICKEDWX.com. And Cyclocane is CYCLOCANE.com. It's cyclone and hurricane. It's a portmanteau or whatever that word is. And that word is probably French. Sounds like it could be French. Anyway, that is it for today. And hopefully you're staying safe out there.